think one of the tactics that I like to tell business owners is to start using a little bit more of the behavioral interviewing style as opposed to just the traditional questions. So for example, if you wanted to know, what would you do if your client was upset? That's a traditional question because it gives you an answer of like what they would do, or a yes or no answer like, yeah, I would totally call them up and see what's going on with them and try to figure out what their problems are. The behavioral questions are going to go a little bit more in depth about what they did do in certain circumstances. So you would ask a question like, tell me about a time when a client called you upset. What was the issue and what did you do to resolve it? Business owners should get the answer that they're looking for, which is what did you do in that circumstance? Because that will help you analyze whether or not they're going to do the same thing at your organization. And the difference between what would you do versus what did you do makes the difference. So when you are interviewing and you start liking their answers, like, oh, you would call them up and you would do this. You really want to talk about like, tell me about a time where everything went wrong. Tell me about a time when you missed every deadline. Tell me about a time when a client left or a customer left your business and left a really poor review, or you had to handle a hard situation, or you had to resolve a hard situation. Those are the things that you want to learn about because you want to know what their mindset was in the moment, how they handled it. And then the most important thing, once you've heard their story, is what would you have done differently? Then you ask the hypothetical, what would you have done differently? And if they say, well, nothing, it went totally fine. Obviously not. We don't live our professional life perfectly. We make mistakes. We have problems that are difficult to solve. We may fail. You want to hear about those things and you want to hear how resilient the person is in solving that. Because if you do just ask a bunch of hypothetical questions, you're going to get somebody who may not actually do those exact things when the time comes with one of your clients. So for example, if somebody said, I would call your client up and find out what happened and solve the problem and make sure and follow up 5 times to make sure they were very happy. And then you hire them and that doesn't happen. I've seen that happen a lot of times where it's like, they gave me the best answer. And when it actually came down to doing that, day 1 or day 2 or day 3 on the job, it didn't happen. And now I'm second guessing that I made the right decision. So those behavioral questions become very important. Remember, the what would you do is hypothetical, traditional. And then your behavioral is what did you do when this actually happened to you or to your organization?